I'm Sean Michaeli.
I'm Darren Golub.
I'm Lily Cobby.
I'm Harry Osfine.
We're MyCup.
Coffee is the second most popular drink after water. It is the second most traded commodity after oil. 60% of Americans drink coffee every day, and 400 million cups of coffee are consumed every day in the US. Clearly, this is a very viable market that our company wanted to get involved with. And through our research, we discovered the following issue with the coffee industry: efficiency. Picture this. It's early in the morning, you're at the airport, and all you want is your cup of coffee before boarding your flight. But when you go to the nearest coffee shop, you see there's a long line. The reason why there's usually a long line when you go to a coffee shop is because it takes time to tell your order, to pay for your order, for the barista to make your coffee, and even once you get your coffee, it takes even more time to add any additional sugar, milk, syrup, whatever else you may need. So our company came up with a way to get rid of the line and get you your personalized coffee fast.
Our mission was to create a personalized and efficient coffee machine that improves the average coffee drinker's experience. When we say average coffee drinkers, we mean the 70% of coffee drinkers that buy their coffee from low-cost establishments, such as 7-Eleven, Tim Hortons, Dunkin' Donuts, etc. Not the regular day coffee drinkers who go to Starbucks for the daily tea.
The way we're going to do this is by creating a product that has two main components: an app and the machine itself. The app will use sliding bars and buttons to allow the user to set their coffee preferences. For example, how much milk they want, how much sugar, and what kind of each. Once they've set their preferences, a QR code will be generated that's saved in the app. They can then walk up to any machine, hold their QR code in front of the camera module, and their coffee will be made. Also, the app allows you to input your credit card information for automatic hands-free payment. The way the machine will work is by having compartments on the top, which hold the various sugars, milks, and the coffee itself. At the bottom of each compartment is a small hole covered by a servo. When you scan your QR code, the Raspberry Pi will decode it and then control the servos, telling various ones to move for various amounts of time.
What's a Raspberry Pi and what's a servo?
A servo is a small motor, like this one that we have here, which turns on like a 180-degree angle. So it'll keep the hole covered, and then when you want, let's say, skim milk, it'll swing open, allowing the hole to open and the skim milk to flow into your cup. A Raspberry Pi is this here. It's a computer chip, and it controls the servos, and it is connected to our camera module. So if, for example, you had said in the app that you want a little bit of skim milk, that would come up in your QR code, and when it gets decoded by the Raspberry Pi, it'll tell the servo, keeping the skim milk compartment closed, to swing open, allowing skim milk to flow into your cup for 1 second. If you had said you wanted a lot of whole milk, it might stay open for 2 seconds, or even 3, allowing more milk to flow into your cup. This allows each cup to be perfectly personalized. Additionally, because these machines are serving high traffic areas, there will be a lot of turnover so that coffee and milk are not sitting in the machine for extended periods of time. However, this does also mean that the machines will need some kind of regular maintenance. So here is a 3D model of our product. As you can see, the base of it is the coffee machine itself, which is what we have here. On top are where the compartments will be holding the milk and the sugar and the coffee, which we are currently in the process of building using this wood and plastic. So it's going to be built the outside out of wood, and the inside we are using these plastic compartments so that they will be you can take them out and put them back in accordingly. Then you can see here, that indicates where the camera module will be connected to the machine. So this is the current camera module. It's connected directly to the Raspberry Pi, and this is currently fully functioning, although it's not connected to the machine. And then the last portion of the machine, which is not pictured here, is the servo system and tubing. So the tubing will allow the contents to flow directly from the top through this opening into your cup.
Our second component is the app. So as you can see, this is just a little segment of what the app looks like, the coding, and then part of the user interface. Over here is the actual app itself, so we can like do a little tutorial of how it will work. So first you would choose your cup size. I'll pick a medium cup. You can pick what kind of roast you want, and then each page it'll say what you've chosen so far. So it says so far I chose a medium order and I chose a dark roast. So I can choose I want 2% milk, I want a mocha. Go to the next page. And then here is where I can choose how much milk, how much sugar, how much water I want. It'll then take me to my final order. And then when I go to the next page to scan my order, which is something that's still a work in progress, it'll take all this information and put it into a barcode, and then the machine will then code that, and then that's how we will get our coffee.
Our target market is high traffic areas such as sports stadiums and arenas, as well as public transportation institutions such as airports and train stations. For sports stadiums and arenas specifically, we found that drinks can be marked up 90%, so that obviously makes them an attractive user of MyCup machines. And although coffee might not seem like a popular drink at sports games, it's actually a rising market, with Lavazza recently making a deal with the US Open to become their official coffee sponsor, and West Rock Coffee just making a deal with the Denver Broncos to become their official coffee sponsor. And I can tell you from personal experience, sitting there in December at Giants games when it's freezing cold, everybody is drinking Dunkin' Donuts coffee and waiting in ridiculously long lines to do so. Our business plan is to sell each unit for $2,000, and while that might seem like a lot of money, to an institution such as an airport, it will really barely make a dent. We also will be selling beans and mix-ins, and then 5% on every cup. Let's take a real-world example, such as Indianapolis International Airport. This is a smaller sized airport, and they were still able to sell 600,000 cups of coffee in 2015. That would equate to a $90,000 market for us, and that's not including the $2,000 per unit or the beans and mix-ins. Now, if you consider the thousands of airports in the United States alone, you can tell why we think our future earnings could be in high millions.
MyCup also has a few competitors. Our first competitor is the hot beverage vending machine, which costs almost $7,000. The reason why this product is similar to ours is because you can go to the machine and you can get instant coffee. However, it is inefficient because you have to go to the machine, you have to take your money out, and you also have to take whatever is in the machine. There's a preset menu. You cannot personalize your coffee. Our next competitor is the typical coffee shop. As previously mentioned, the coffee shop is inefficient because you have to wait on long lines. Additionally, coffee shops typically don't just sell coffee. They sell bagels, they sell muffins, they sell other drinks. So when you're waiting online, you're also going to be waiting for people who might not even want coffee. Our last competitor is the Starbucks app. The Starbucks app is similar to our app because you can pre-order and prepay for your coffee, so when you go to Starbucks, you skip the line and you can just get your coffee. However, the Starbucks app is different than our app for a few different reasons. The first reason is when you go onto the app, you're choosing from a preset menu. So even though you can make some adjustments to the Starbucks app, it's different than our app because with us, you're creating your own coffee from scratch. It's a different experience. Second, when you go onto the app, you have to order your coffee each time. If you start from the beginning, it takes more time. However, in our app, when you make your order the first time, that barcode is going to be set in the app. So when you want your coffee, all you have to do is open the app and just scan the barcode onto the machine and get your coffee fast. And of course, with our app, if you want to reset your coffee, there's a way you can go back and make changes. Lastly, we are targeting a different market than the Starbucks app is targeting. For example, if you're someone who goes to Starbucks every single day, you have your special order from Starbucks, you're clearly a loyal Starbucks customer. We are not expecting you to stop going to Starbucks and all of a sudden come to us. Instead, we are targeting the 70% of Americans who are okay with getting an average cup of coffee, who aren't extremely nitpicky, and who don't want to spend an extreme amount of money on coffee every day.
We are MyCup. Thank you.